The galaxy had seen many wars. It had seen stars burn, planets fall, and entire civilizations disappear without a trace. For thousands of years, one truth remained the same: power decided everything. And today, power had gathered again. Near a quiet, dying star system, a massive alien armada floated in space. Ships of different shapes and sizes formed a perfect circle. Some were sharp like blades. Some were round like shields. Others were huge, like moving cities. They all had one goal: to crush another rising species before it became a threat. That species was humanity. The alien commanders were calm. To them, this was routine. They had done this many times before. A new species grows, becomes curious, starts to explore space, and then gets erased. Simple. Clean. Efficient. Prepare the attack formation, one commander said. No resistance expected, another replied. But just as they began to move forward, something strange happened. A signal appeared. It was weak. Old. Almost lost in space noise. At first, no one paid attention. Just background noise, a technician said. But the signal did not disappear. It repeated. Again. And again. The commanders frowned. Trace it. Sensors focused on the signal. Data streams moved fast across screens. Numbers, codes, patterns. And then they found it. The signal was coming from inside the system. From something very small. Zoom in. The image slowly cleared. And there it was. A single ship. Drifting in the darkness. For a moment, there was silence. Then, laughter. Is that it? One commander said. One ship, another added. This is the species we came to destroy. The room filled with quiet amusement. Some even turned away, already bored. But something felt wrong. The ship was not moving like normal ships. It was too still. Too quiet. No visible engine glow. No heat signature. No weapons. Nothing. Scan it, the lead commander ordered. The scanners activated. But the results made no sense. Unknown material. Unknown structure. Energy readings, unclear. The data kept changing, like the ship did not want to be understood. That is impossible, a scientist said. Every ship in the galaxy followed known physics. This one did not. Before anyone could speak again, another problem appeared. Sir, we are losing signal clarity. What do you mean? Our systems, they are slowing down. The commander turned sharply. Explain. But the answer came too late. One of the ships in the outer formation suddenly stopped moving. Its engines went dark. What happened to that ship? No response. Then another ship slowed down. And another. Across the Armada, systems began to fail. Weapons stopped responding. Navigation froze. Communication channels filled with static. Panic started to rise. This is not possible. Is it an attack? There are no incoming weapons. No explosions. No visible damage. Just silence, spreading from ship to ship. And at the center of it all, the human ship moved. Slowly. Calmly. It turned its front toward the Armada. Like it was watching them. Like it had always been watching. Distance, the commander asked, his voice now tense. Closing, slowly. How is it doing this? No one answered. Because no one knew. The closer the human ship came, the worse the systems became. Entire sections of the fleet went dark. Ships floated without control. Crews tried everything, manual override, backup systems, emergency power. Nothing worked. It was like something invisible was reaching into their machines, and turning them off. Fear replaced confidence. For the first time in a long time, the alien armada did not feel powerful. They felt helpless. "Retreat," one commander whispered. But it was too late. Their ships could not move. They were frozen in space. And the human ship kept coming. Closer. Closer. Until it finally stopped, right in front of them. Perfectly still. Perfectly silent. Then something changed. A low hum filled the air. Soft at first. Then growing stronger. Lights began to glow across the surface of the human ship. Not bright. Not aggressive. But controlled. Precise. Like something was waking up. Every alien on every ship felt it. That deep, quiet fear. "What is that?" someone whispered. No one answered. Because in that moment, they all understood one thing. This was not a normal ship. This was not a normal enemy. And whatever this was, it had already won. Then, the human ship powered up. The silence did not break. It grew heavier. Across the alien armada, thousands of ships floated like lifeless metal in the dark. No engines. No weapons. No movement. Only fear. The human ship stood at the center of it all, calm and untouched. Inside the alien command ships, panic was no longer hidden. "Restore power now. Try backup systems. Switch to manual control." Orders filled the air, but nothing changed. Every system they trusted failed them. "It's like something is blocking us," a technician said, his voice shaking. "Not blocking," another replied quietly. "Controlling." That word spread like a virus. Controlling. The commanders did not want to believe it. No known technology could take control of an entire armada at once. It was impossible. But impossible was already happening. "Focus all scanners on that ship," the lead commander ordered. This time, they pushed their systems harder than ever before. For a moment, they got something. A reading. Strange energy patterns moved around the human ship. Not like weapons. Not like shields. It was something else. Something deeper. "It's emitting a field," a scientist said slowly. "A field that interacts with our systems." "How?" "We don't know." The data became unstable again. Numbers shifted. Signals broke. Like the ship was hiding itself. Or, changing faster than they could understand. Suddenly, one alien cruiser managed to restart a small part of its system. "We have partial control," its captain shouted. Hope flashed across the command network. "Fire weapons." The cruiser tried. For 1 second, its weapons powered up. For 1 second, energy gathered. Then, everything died. Not just the weapons. The entire ship went dark. Completely. No lights. No signals. No life signs. Silence. The message was clear. The human ship allowed that attempt. And then, ended it. No explosion. No warning. Just absolute shutdown. The rest of the armada froze in fear. No one dared to try again. "Do not engage," the lead commander said, his voice now low and controlled. "We wait." But waiting only made it worse. Because the human ship was not idle. It was moving again. Slowly drifting through the frozen fleet. Passing between massive alien warships like they were nothing. Like they did not exist. Its surface glowed softly, lines of light moving across its dark metal body. Patterns that no one could read. Some ships tried to send distress signals. Nothing went out. Others tried internal communication. Only static answered. They were alone. Completely cut off. And the human ship was still watching. Then something unexpected happened. A signal appeared. Not noise this time. A clear signal. Strong. Stable. It came from the human ship. Every alien screen lit up at once. The same message. The same source. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. They were not ready. Because this meant one thing. The humans were not just attacking. They were communicating. Translated, the commander ordered. The system worked slowly, but it worked. The message was simple. Very simple. We see you. The words echoed across every ship. Cold. Calm. Certain. No threat. No anger. Just control. The commanders looked at each other. This was not how war worked. There were no demands. No countdown. No negotiation. Just a statement. We see you. Like hunters watching trapped prey. Send a reply, one commander said. No response. Send anything. Still nothing. The human ship did not answer again. It did not need to. Because now the aliens understood something far worse than destruction. They were not fighting an enemy. They were inside its reach. Every system. Every ship. Every move. All under control. The human ship stopped again. Right in the center of the Armada. Then its lights changed. The soft glow became sharper. More focused. Energy readings started rising. Higher than before. Much higher. What is it doing now? Someone whispered. No one had the answer. But this time. They were sure of one thing. This was only the beginning. And whatever came next. Would decide everything. The alien armada had faced destruction before. They had seen ships explode. They had seen entire fleets burn in seconds. But this was different. There was no fire. No attack. No visible enemy action. Only control. Only silence. And that silence was breaking them. Inside the command ships, no one spoke for a long time. The earlier panic had changed into something worse. Understanding. Slow, heavy, terrifying understanding. We are not under attack, one of the senior commanders finally said. The others turned toward him. Then what is this? Another asked. The answer came slowly. We are being handled. That word stayed in the air. Handled. Like they were not enemies. Not even threats. Just something to be managed. Across the fleet, crews tried to stay calm. They checked systems again and again. They repeated the same actions, hoping for a different result. But every time, the same silence answered them. One young officer stared at his dark screen. It's like the ship is asleep, he whispered. No, his captain replied quietly. It's not asleep. It's being kept still. That idea spread quickly. Not broken. Not destroyed. Just, held in place. The human ship drifted slowly between them. Closer now. Much closer. For the first time, alien crews could see it clearly. It was not large compared to some of their biggest warships. But it felt larger. Its design made no sense. No clear front. No visible weapons. Its surface looked smooth, but also complex, like layers moving under each other. And those lights. They were not random. They moved in patterns. Careful. Precise. Like the ship was thinking. Record everything, the lead commander ordered. But even as they recorded, they knew it would not help. Because they could not understand what they were seeing. Suddenly, a new signal appeared. Not from the ship this time. From their own archives. Old data began opening automatically. Files they did not request. Records they had not seen in a long time. Who is accessing the database? A technician asked. No one, came the reply. Then why are these files opening? The answer was already clear. The human ship. It was inside their systems. Not just controlling their ships. But searching them. Reading them. Learning. On every screen, the same word appeared again and again. Humanity. Old reports filled the displays. Primitive species. Low threat level. Slow technological growth. The commanders watched in silence. Those reports were from the past. A distant past. How old are these files? One asked. Hundreds of cycles, maybe more. That meant one thing. Everything they knew about humans was wrong. Very wrong. They changed, someone said quietly. No, the lead commander replied. They advanced. As if responding to that thought. The human ship sent another signal. Stronger this time. Clearer. Every system that was still working received it. The message was short. We told you to stay away. The room went cold. We told you, one commander repeated. That meant this was not the first contact. Somewhere in the past. Humans had already sent a warning. And it had been ignored. A mistake. A very big mistake. The alien leaders felt it now. Not just fear of the ship. But fear of what they had done. We did not listen, one of them said softly. No, another answered. And now, we are paying for it. The human ship stopped moving again. Right in front of the largest command vessel. Close enough to touch. Energy readings continued to rise. Higher. Steadier. Controlled. But still not attacking. That was the worst part. It could destroy them. They were sure of it now. But it didn't. Why are they waiting? Someone asked. No one answered immediately. Then the lead commander spoke. Because they don't need to rush. That truth hit harder than any weapon. This was not a battle. This was not even a fight. This was a demonstration. A message. And the aliens were part of it. The human ship's lights shifted again. The patterns became sharper. Almost focused. Like a decision had been made. Across the fleet, every alien felt it. Something was about to happen. Something final. And for the first time in their long history, the alien armada understood a simple truth. They were no longer the hunters. They were no longer in control. They were the ones being judged. And humanity had already reached its conclusion. The human ship did not fire. It did not threaten. It did not rush. It simply stayed. But now, the alien commanders understood something far more dangerous than any weapon. This ship was not built for battle. It was built for control. Across the Armada, systems were still frozen. But something new began to happen. Slowly, carefully. Some systems started coming back online. Not fully. Just enough. A screen flickered. A control panel responded. A weak signal returned. The aliens looked at each other in confusion. Why is it restoring power? One asked. No one answered. Because the truth was becoming clear. The humans were not losing control. They were giving it back. On purpose. Test navigation, the lead commander said. A ship tried to adjust its position. For a moment, it worked. Then it stopped again. Frozen. Like an invisible hand allowed the movement, and then took it away. They are controlling the level of access, a scientist said, his voice low. Like, permission. That word changed everything. Permission. This was no longer about strength. This was about authority. The human ship was not just stronger. It was above them. Watching. Deciding. Allowing. The alien leaders felt it now. Not just fear. But something close to realization. For thousands of years, they believed war was simple. Find the enemy. Destroy the enemy. Win. But humanity had changed the rules. They did not fight wars. They ended them, before they could begin. The human ship sent another signal. This time, it was not just words. It was data. Massive streams of information filled alien systems. At first, it looked like noise. But then, it started to make sense. Images appeared. Human ships. Human cities. Human worlds. But they were not weak. They were advanced. Far beyond anything the aliens had expected. Structures that bent light. Engines that left no trace. Systems that connected everything, perfectly. This is impossible, one commander whispered. They were not this advanced. Another voice answered. You are looking at the present. Silence followed. Because now they understood. While the galaxy was busy with war, humans were building something else. Something smarter. Something quieter. Something unstoppable. The data continued. Simulations appeared. Alien fleets attacking. Human systems responding. No explosions. No destruction. Just shutdown. Again and again. Every scenario ended the same way. The enemy could not fight. The enemy could not move. The enemy could only watch, as control slipped away. This is not war, one of the commanders said. No, the lead commander replied. This is dominance without violence. The words felt heavy. Because they were true. Humanity had created a way to win. Without destroying. A way to stop any enemy. Without firing a single shot. And that made them more dangerous than anyone before. Because there was no defense against it. The human ship's voice returned. Calm. Clear. Final. You came here to erase us. The alien commanders did not respond. They could not. Because it was true. We chose a different path. The screens showed more data. Human history. Early wars. Destruction. Mistakes. Then change. Slow, difficult change. Humans had learned something the galaxy never did. War was not victory. Control was. Understanding was. Ending conflict, before it began, was the true power. You still choose war, the message continued. A pause followed. Then. We do not. The alien leaders felt something new. Not just fear. Not just defeat. But something deeper. They were outdated. Everything they believed in was old. Broken. Useless. The human ship moved one last time. Positioning itself above the center of the Armada. Energy levels stabilized. No longer rising. No longer threatening. Just, steady. Like everything was already decided. We could end you, the human voice said. The words were simple. No emotion. No anger. Just fact. But we won't. That was the moment everything changed. Because mercy. from something this powerful, was not kindness. It was a message. A warning. A line that should never be crossed again. Across the fleet, systems slowly came back. Weapons stayed offline. Engines returned at low power. Just enough to leave. "They are releasing us," someone whispered. The lead commander closed his eyes for a moment. Then gave the final order. "All ships, withdraw." No one argued. No one delayed. Because now they understood the truth about humanity. They were not the strongest. They were not the fastest. They were something far more dangerous. They had outgrown war itself. And against that, no armada could win. The alien armada began to move. Slowly. Carefully. Like something that had just survived a storm, but did not understand how. Engines came back to life one by one. Ships adjusted their positions. Formation broke apart. No one spoke. There were no victory calls. No pride. Only silence. Because every being in that fleet knew the truth. They were alive, because the humans allowed it. The great armada that once ruled entire sectors of the galaxy, now moved like a defeated shadow. Not destroyed. But changed. As the ships prepared to leave the system, the human warship stayed where it was. Still. Watching. It did not follow. It did not chase. It did not need to. The message had already been delivered. But just before the alien fleet could jump to faster-than-light travel, the human ship sent one last transmission. Every screen across every ship turned on again. No one tried to block it this time. No one dared. The message appeared. Simple. Clear. Final. You were not stopped because you are weak. A pause followed. The alien commanders listened in complete silence. You were stopped because war is no longer the answer. Some of them lowered their heads. Some stared at the screen, unable to move. The voice continued. You measure power by destruction. Another pause. Then. We measure it by control. Those words felt heavier than anything before. Because now they understood. Humans were not just stronger. They were different. Completely different. The message did not end there. A final line appeared. If you return with war, you will not leave again. No anger. No threat. Just truth. The transmission ended. And this time, it did not return. The human ship went quiet again. Its lights dimmed slightly. Its presence remained, but it no longer acted. It had done what it came to do. The alien armada stood at the edge of escape. All ships, prepare to jump, the lead commander said. His voice was calm. But it had changed. It no longer carried arrogance. Only understanding. One by one, ships opened their jump gates. Bright lines of light cut through the darkness. And then. They were gone. The system became silent again. Empty. Cold. Still. Only one ship remained. The human warship. Floating near the dying star. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, inside the ship, a quiet voice spoke. Threat level, contained. Another voice answered. No casualties. A short pause. Then. Mission complete. The ship slowly turned away from the empty space where the Armada once stood. Its lights shifted again. Soft. Calm. Almost peaceful. It did not celebrate. It did not record victory. Because for humanity, this was not a win. This was normal. This was how things were now. Far away, across the galaxy, the alien fleets that escaped carried something with them. Not damage. Not loss. But a story. A warning. A truth that would spread from system to system. A truth that could not be ignored anymore. Humanity had changed the meaning of power. They did not destroy their enemies. They ended the fight before it began. And from that day forward, no empire, no fleet, no civilization would ever look at humans the same way again. Because now they knew. If a human warship appears, the battle is already over.